Welcome back to Math 103. This is video number 19 on fair division. We go back to the beginning of the same fair division problem and redo it with the same characters and the same preferences, but now Lauren in the role of divider. So we can ask, what happens specifically if she is the divider? Where does she divide? And which of her shares, as she divides them, does Jason consider fair for him? And which of the shares that Lauren creates does Kelly consider fair for her? Now, Lauren is the one who had 18 points as the total value of the year. She's the one who valued each of October, November, and December 3 times more highly than each of the other months of the year. So as already indicated in colors here, but I'll also draw vertical lines, Lauren marks off the year every 6 Lauren points. Right? She has to produce 3 equally valuable shares, because there are 3 players, so she marks off 3 6-point shares. Right, so there are 6 points from her point of view from January through June, another 6 points July through October, and another 6 points November through December. Okay. Just for good measure, we can label these as usual S1, S2, S3. Now, which of these does Jason consider to be a fair share? Jason considers the entire year to be worth 12 Jason points. He was the one who valued each month equally. So from his point of view, S1 is a very nice share. That's certainly worth at least 1/3 of the value of the whole year. Right, so his minimum fair share amount is 4 Jason points. 1/3 of 12 is 4 Jason points. So any share that's worth at least 4 Jason points is fair to him. So S1 is a fair share to him, S2 is just barely a fair share to him, and S3 is not a fair share from his point of view. It's not acceptable. Kelly is the one who valued January through September equally, and October through December not at all. So 9 Kelly points is the total value of the year, therefore each fair share will be worth at least 3 Kelly points to her. And so S1 is certainly fair to her, abundantly so. S2 also is a fair share from her point of view. S3 is not, certainly not. And of course, Lauren considers all 3 shares to be fair shares. That's why she drew them the way she did. Finally, we have to decide who receives which months, and how much each player's share is worth to him or her as a fraction or percentage of what the entire year is worth. So we have choices here. We could give S1 to Jason and S2 to Kelly, and that would leave Lauren with S3. Or we could do it the other way around. So Kelly could get January through June, Jason could get July through August, and Lauren would get November and December. So either way, Lauren is the only one who's willing to live with November and December, so she will certainly get those months. Just to illustrate a certain point, I'm going to write it the first way I indicated. So Jason receives share 1, in other words, January through June. And what is that worth to him? Well, it's worth 6 Jason points out of 12 for the entire year. So in other words, it is worth 50% of the value of the entire year. That means that we'll have to give Kelly S2, in other words, July through October, even though she considers October worthless. Still, the way Lauren made the division, S2, that particular share, contains all of July through October. If she wants to subsequently make some other deal where she sells the rights to October to either Jason or Lauren, she's allowed to do that, but that is an afterthought. For purposes of this method, the divider makes certain divisions, and we give each share in its entirety to one person. So officially, October is part of Kelly's share. So Kelly is ending up with 3 out of 9 total points for the year, so that's exactly 1/3 the value. That's exactly a minimum fair share. And then Lauren is receiving November and December, and that's exactly a minimum fair share also. We expect Lauren to receive exactly a minimum fair share because she's the divider. she's created 3 shares that are each minimum fair shares for her, and she gets one of them. So of course the divider gets exactly a minimum fair share.